James loves ergonomic keyboards, but he doesn't understand why I've spent hundreds, okay, thousands on mechanical keyboards, switches, keycaps, and other accessories. So when Epomaker sponsored this video, I wanted to get his opinion on two of the more standard sizes and layouts. Epomaker's Tide 65 and Tide 75 mechanical keyboards. I'm gonna start with the Epomaker Tide 65
Do I get to come in now?
Later, James, later. This is a 65% board, triple mode aluminum gasket mounted mechanical keyboard. We've got a pretty standard quick start guide. It's actually pretty sweet, folds out into a giant quick start map. Yes, these are QMK VIA compatible. I know that is not only my biggest complaint with Epomaker, but one of your biggest complaints is that it's proprietary software. Well, that's finally over. Oh, this one is actually a bare bones kit. So what I really want to look at before James gets over here is the 75. Another quick start guide, and then this nice purple with side printed legend, also aluminum chassis. Very nice. We get our typical cable, USB-C to USB-A. And then we've also got my favorite kind of keycap and switch puller, the double-sided guy. Really easy to use with these thin wires. And when you need switches, you just grab them and pop them out. Super simple, super easy. James is gonna come in and check out the unfinished keyboard so that we can kind of explain what's inside of this thing and why I actually care about the multitude of layers within this keyboard.
Okay, here's the thing, Ploof. It's not that I don't understand why to spend money on a great mechanical keyboard. I get it, the weight, oh God, the colors, the clickiness, the feel, the sounds, I get it, I like it, I want it. What I don't understand, because I don't have any experience with it, is like you said, the gasket mounting and the O-rings and the lubing Liven. That's what I just don't have experience with. I appreciate it, but I just never have done that myself. Today's the day?
Today is the day. Well, kind of. We're gonna at least open it and look through it. The Tide keyboards only come pre-assembled, but I've taken this one apart so you can look at it. It's actually really simple. You've just got two pieces of the case. You got the top and the bottom, and then what we've got is all of these layers. So this is our top plate. So FlexiCut means that there's little cuts in the plate, and that allows for more flexibility.
Why would you want that? I thought the whole thing with keyboards was rigidity.
Kind of. The whole thing about keyboards, realistically, is customizability and making it feel the way you want it to feel and sound. And so some people like all of that give. I personally don't. I like a more rigid plate. And then as for gaskets, what we've got here are these little socks. What these do is they help keep it in place and they help add a little bit of cushion.
Okay, so you're saying with these socks on, there's less play with it moving like in these directions, but there's more give in it moving in this up and down direction.
Up and down, yeah, because it's got that little bit of rubber that'll help kind of sink in when it moves.
So that's gasket mounted?
Yeah, that's gasket mounted.
I always thought it had to do with the switches.
No, it's on the plate. So now we've got just our PCB, right? Except it's not just the PCB. There are 5 layers of sound dampening materials.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so this is case foam. This, as you can see, has some more vertical height. And so the switches are gonna sink down right onto that.
Is this sound dampening material because although there's a whole range of different like keyboard sounds, is the like consensus that you don't want an echoey kind of reverby sound?
It's personal preference. So I mean, yeah, reverb and echo is not as desired. What you want is just a solid range coming between like a clack or click down to like a creamy thok.
What is something that nobody ever wants, like a ringing
ping, like spring ping.
Yeah, okay.
And that's why people lube their springs, so that's a big one. And yeah, echo or reverb are probably the main things. And that's what all this foam kind of helps with.
So now we just shuffle them all together except for the top plate and put the switches on?
Pretty much, yeah. Let's say we're assembling from scratch. Take your bottom case.
Thank you.
All right, put your case foam down, running the ribbon cables through it.
So that goes through here?
Yep, it's here. You can just run that through and plug it in.
The ergonomics of this.
Well, these aren't really ribbon cables, but these tiny connectors are honestly my scariest part. They're weak and they're hard to pull out, and if you're using a tool to pull them out, you could scrape the PCB, which you don't want to do. Cool, but yeah, that was easy enough. Then we throw this guy on. Normally, if you're also not comfortable with doing this, most keyboard companies are gonna have a kind of a tutorial or guide, and if the company doesn't, then there's so many YouTubers and personalities out there that you're gonna be able to find an assembly guide. Pretty easy for step-by-step instructions. Next layer, we wanna put our nice pour-on foam in here.
Pour-on?
Pour-on.
My dad used to call me that as a kid.
Pour-on?
Yeah, pour-on.
And then after that, we'll put our plate on, okay? And then let's put 4 into the corners.
Oh God. I don't know, man.
So you're putting it in at an angle. If you put it in just like straight down,
You have the easy side.
Okay, we can switch.
No.
You turn it, flip it
There's
around,
enough
rotate
switches
it.
on this table. I'm just gonna jiggle and press.
It's okay. Here, let me do it.
Yeah, you do
Did you
it.
bend that one?
Slightly.
You're getting it bent. It's okay. If you ever bend a pin, just flatten it out with some pliers. No problem. Oh yeah, that one doesn't go in very easily.
Vindicated.
He's right. He's right.
Oh, come
Mine went in so easy. There we go.
So this puppy come with switches? Or are they totally sold separately, or how's it work?
Yeah, they come with switches. They're hot swappable though, so if you want a different switch, easy. Look at that.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah, no problem. And
Do they have switch options?
depending on the color you choose, you're gonna get a different switch. And then since these are hot swappable, we're just popping these in. We're not having to solder anything. You can just get different switches down the line, take them all out, put the new ones in, you're good to go.
Bob's your uncle.
That's it. See how easy they go in now that it's all aligned though? That's why I always do the corners first.
It's just like the game of Go. Like I can grab some territory over here.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to go left of these switches.
Once you start putting them in though, it's pretty easy though, right? Like now you're putting these in, no problem.
No problem.
Also, some of these foam layers, when you're fully assembling it for the first time, they're a little sticky, so that you can like kind of get it in place and it'll stick in place, and then you don't have to worry about sliding the layer all around. What kind of switches do you like? You like
Tactile or clicky?
really?
I'm more of a typist than a WASD guy.
I kind of go all over the place. Sometimes I like linear, and sometimes I like tactile, but I don't like clicky, and I want to hear my keyboard. I don't want to hear my switches, if that makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
What?
I don't get it.
I guess what I'm trying to do that I never explained is I'm trying to lead with the two pins that are going to go in, so I do put it in ever so slightly angled upwards.
With a little bit of a roll.
Yeah, with a little bit of a roll. Yeah, now you got it.
When did the power come on here? When?
We
You got
probably
RGB
just hit a
suddenly.
button. These are south-facing RGB. The cool thing about those is that this is a side legend, so it's gonna light up on the side.
I'm leaving the space bar to you.
Oh yeah, it looks like the space bar is upside down. Which
Ah!
is one thing we didn't really talk about is stabilizers. These were already mounted into the PCB.
Stabilizers being on this large spacebar key, these little white guys over here.
Yeah, because if there were no stabilizers to keep the whole long key stable exactly, it would wobble.
So when people are lubing up their switches, that's like on the spring on the switch itself?
That's right.
Like inside here?
That's right. So we don't have a switch opener here, but what you normally do is you pop open these 4 tabs on the side, and then this top housing comes off and you take the spring off, and then what you lube is the inside of it, as well as the stem. So this guy here, and your springs as well. It's nice to lube those, otherwise
And that's purely for the sound?
they do feel a little nicer as well. Like I find that switches that are unlubed feel more scratchy.
Yeah.
But the thing is, in the last couple of years, factory lubing, like these feel factory lubed, and it's gotten a lot better.
Okay.
To the point where like I don't even buy unlubed switches anymore. I just buy factory lubed switches and I just run them.
It sounds like a
stock.
tedious process.
It really
What is
is.
the typical effect sound-wise of lubing them?
Sounds a little deeper and a little less scratchy.
Okay.
Typically. Yeah.
Let's get that top on.
Oh yeah.
It's
Beautiful.
just like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, there you go. Then that's that. And then we got those 4 bolts.
Oh yeah, bolts, that's good. I was like, is this just gravity? Like,
Yeah. Some are magnetic. Yeah. Wow. All right, now let's get the keycaps on. That's all we got to do. All right, we're done.
there they are.
Both keyboards fully assembled.
You got purple though.
I did.
I like purple. Is there any other difference? Looks like you have more keys than I do.
Yeah, so the main difference here is that this one's a 75% and this one's a 65%.
You've got the F keys.
I've got the F keys.
I like that. Little known trick, F4 in Excel or Google Sheets is repeat last action.
That's pretty good.
It's really good. You're like, delete
Yeah.
this row and you just want to do that a bunch more times.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good one, actually. You can do all of that. You're not limited. If
For
you
sure.
hit the function key.
I hate using layers though.
I know, me too. So, but if you hit the function key, you can go function alt 4, and that's alt F4 essentially.
A function and alt are beside each other. here.
Yeah. So you can do them over there and there. Like it's not the worst.
This is nice. This,
Yeah, the knob. It's good to
Yeah.
have.
Is that knob larger?
Well, let's compare knobs. My knob is
A
larger.
larger diameter knob.
Other than that, they're basically the same. They both have QMK VIA compatibility, which is a huge upgrade for Epomaker. Most of their other keyboards are using proprietary software. If you don't like layers, you'll probably never use QMK VIA. But if you do like layers and macros, then with QMK VIA, you can set up whatever you want. You can assign keys, you can change the RGB, you can do tons of stuff. And most other big boutique keyboards use QMK VIA.
Just because I don't like layers doesn't mean I wouldn't use that to program this the way I want. Maybe I want to move a couple keys around.
Fair enough.
You have a gradient.
I do. So I've got a nice anodized purple coating. Very pretty, very pretty.
What do I have?
You have an electrophoretic coating.
Okay, and look at this mirror finish in the bottom.
That's pretty, wait.
Hi.
Wow, there it is.
Good weight on these guys.
Yeah, they're full aluminum shell, full aluminum chassis, which is not always the case for Epomaker. They use a lot of plastics. It does help keep the cost down. We'll get to the price at the very end. They're the same switches. And then they've also got the same 4,000 milliamp hour battery, which is a lot. If you have the RGB on, it's not gonna last nearly as long. They've also both got south-facing RGB, so you get that cool shine through on the legend.
Oh yeah.
Looks pretty cool.
It does. I see the T is blinking for some reason.
You can. They're basically the same. So now the only thing left to do...
Is this a little home for the USB dongle delivery?
It is, yes.
That is so nice to have.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My only complaint is the same as a lot of aluminum cast keyboards, is that there's no adjustable feet.
Oh.
Because so if you don't like this typing angle, you're kind of just hooped.
It's more ergonomic to have it flat than
I know.
up there, so you should anyway.
It's fine, but I like up a little bit. Which one are you gonna take?
If I'm gonna have it at my desk, I would take the extra keys, and I also like purple, so.
Fair enough, that's perfect.
What the heck? I have page up and down, and I have end, but I don't have home?
Oh yeah, you are missing a home key.
One.
You might also be missing a delete.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I use home and end a lot, and I use delete a lot.
I use delete all the time.
Mac people don't even know what that is.
No, they're fools.
It's like backspace, but it goes the other way.
That's so good.
I actually have that on my thumb on my.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
genius.
that's why I like the thumb clusters.
Yeah. Now, with all this being done and said, would you switch from Ergo to a straight, just regular? Because you can get mechanical ergonomic keyboards.
Yeah, mine's optical, so happens to be. But no, at my desk, I think I put enough hours in it that I want it to be an Ergo keyboard. But at home, I actually have a lesser mechanical keyboard, and it's pretty old and cheesy at this point with its RGB and stuff. And I would love to replace that with something like one of these, especially when you have those like curly old
the
school
nice
phone
coiled,
cables.
nice coiled cables.
Those cables are cool.
You could take your keyboard at home and mod it a bit yourself. We have our own keyboard guide on LTT.
It has a plastic chassis.
Oh, yeah,
What I'd
you want the
rather
metal.
do, I'd rather get a kit like this that's all exploded out
Yeah.
and spend quality time with a family member, like
Building
my
it.
little sister or something, building it together.
It's great for stuff like that.
Good gift idea that
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Because, I mean, as you saw, like, that was pretty simple.
Yeah.
There's not that much to it. I think
That's
people
right.
get a little worried when they're taking any kind of electronics apart, especially when it's more expensive. But like that was such a simple kit. It's just a bunch of foam layers. You plug the PCB in a couple spots, and then you put the switches in, and you're basically done.
Boom.
Easy.
And we're basically done.
That's right. Except for the price.
Oh,
It's $120 for the 65 and $140 US for the 75.
bro, you're not even in the realm of Ergo keyboards yet.
I know. Oh, I'm well aware.
That's actually pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Normally, I was actually expecting $350, $400, so sweet.
A few years ago, that would probably be the case for something like this, but the prices have come so far down on full aluminum, wireless, full mechanical hot swap keyboards, RGB, that you can get them for a little over $100 now. You can get cheaper ones, but something like this is pretty reasonable. Thanks Epomaker for sponsoring this video. If you want to check out these keyboards, they'll be linked in the description below. And thank you guys for watching. If you want to look at another video, maybe check out the Dynatab 75X.
You know? That's Tusken Raiders,
Yeah,
baby.
from Star Wars.
No relation.